Hi, it's Abdullah Samir again. I'm going to talk about following your heart. Is following your heart a reliable way of ascertaining the truth? Can it lead you to the correct opinion? Sometimes it can, but is it reliable? Not necessarily. Human beings for thousands of years have been worshipping God. Many people incline towards polytheism. Some people think that worshipping Jesus is the best. In fact, we don't realize just how biased we are. The majority of us always think that what our parents are following and what we have been taught as a young child is the best way. So for the vast majority of people who become religious later in life, they choose their parents' religion. If two people came to you with different books and said, this book is from God and this book is from God, how would you know which one is the right one? If your heart inclined, human beings, we have inclined towards idol worship for a very long time. In fact, if you look at the history of humanity, that's pretty much been the dominant form of worship of God. For thousands of years, it's either been nature worship or idol worship. And the reason for that is because you can see the idol. You can feel it. So Hindus would say that worshipping the representation of God in a physical form, it feels right to them, right? Christians will say worshipping Jesus feels right. He's a man, he's the ultimate sacrifice. He came down, God's ultimate sacrifice was to give his son. It feels right to them. Their heart inclines towards that. But is that a reliable way of finding the truth? Of course not. Because everyone will have a different opinion as to what the heart is inclining to. Your heart might incline to something that's actually bad for you. For example, parents sometimes tell the kids, I don't like the friends that you have. I think your friend is bad for you. I can see that this person is not a good friend and I don't think you should be friends with them. But you, on the other hand, you're like, what does my mom know? She's an old geezer. What does my dad know? They don't know anything. This is a nice guy. This is a good guy. He's there for me. I know him. But little do you know, your parents are right. The guy's a bad influence on you, right? So your heart inclines to many things that are actually bad for you, right? We have many biases as human beings, and we shouldn't let these biases tell us what's right and wrong. If all that mattered was the heart, then why did Allah send messengers with revelations and with miracles, the previous prophets? For example, Moses, he split the sea, his hand was glowing, he had the staff, he had a lot of miracles. Jesus, he cured the lepers and he healed the blind and the sick by the permission of God. They had very clear, absolutely clear, crystal clear evidence from God. If evidence does not matter, if your intellect does not matter, then why would Allah send those evidence? Why would Allah send evidence to previous prophets? So clearly, evidence matters. The way the world works, there's so many snake oil salesmen. Everybody is coming to you and saying, this is right, this is right, this is right. The world is created in such a way that we have to use our intellect. There's no other way to ascertain the truth. If you don't use your intellect, you're going to be fooled. You're going to say, Jesus feels good to me. You're going to say this idol feels good to me. I was brought up in a culture. You don't even realize that you're so biased towards idolatry because you grew up in that area. So, challenge people's claims. When they come to you, question it. Ask yourself, does this make sense? Does this add up? What is the evidence? And it's not just your heart. Your heart might incline to the wrong. Your heart might incline to the right. But it's not reliable. What is reliable is our intellects, our reasoning, right? We can use this, we can sharpen our tools, learn how to avoid logical fallacies, learn common tricks that people use to trick us, and we don't want to fall for that. For example, arguing from numbers, saying, well, if it was wrong, then why are there 1 billion people following it? Well, there's also 1 billion people following other religions too. Clearly, one of them has to be wrong. So that's an example of one fallacy, right? There's a lot of fallacies, and learning a little bit of philosophy, learning critical thinking will help you not to be fooled by snake oil salesmen. That's my advice from this video. learn a little bit of critical thinking, learn a little bit of philosophy. It'll help us. It'll help you. Thank you. Bye.